name is Christine. She joined the Rotary Club not very long ago, Christmas last year. She's going to talk about her lifestyle. Thank you, Christine.
I'm going to have to go over here because of the cameraman is Christine.
Yeah, no.
And this is your best side, is it?
And while I talk, I'm going to hold these for no reason.
No, what's wrong with them? Whatever you do.
Well, I'm moving away.
So first of all, thank you very much. Hello, gentlemen, and Sylvia.
Thank you, Christine.
Okay. First, I'd like to just tell you how I started. I was born in 1990, Christine Ivy Roselles, in a mother's furniture shop opposite Hornchurch Station, where my father had a business renovating perambulators. So on my birth certificate it says my father is a perambulator renovator. My mother was a florist, born into the industry by her mother, who had a flower shop in Whitechapel, and a shop became available in Billet Lane, so we moved from the above furniture shop in Station Lane and moved to Billet Lane in Hornchurch, where my parents ran the flower shop up until they retired a few years ago. As children, we were brought up above the flower shop, and we had a very lovely life because it's everybody went to school. They had houses, but we had a shop which was completely different. And I can tell you, my two sisters were born upstairs on the studio couch where I've now got my computer set up. From there, I obviously went to school, and I didn't pass my 11th class, unfortunately, and I went to a school called Bush Elms, which was down in Highlands Way, and had an education until I was 15.
Thank you.
Went on to commercial college and took shorthand and typing, and I went to work on a magazine in London. After we were taken to the Practical Household magazine, where I used to know about compensation, I could build you a house if you went to the Ideal Home exhibition, I could do all sorts of things to do with your house. I met my first husband, and obviously I then couldn't work, because in those days you didn't, you sort of retired. You retired to become a mum and a housewife, which I did, had my first son, who's now 41, and had to come back into the family business just to do a little bit, because I needed a little job, because I felt like I wasn't doing anything, because Session 9 really didn't do much for me. And I thought to myself, well, I'll have something, so I went back into the family business in Billet Lane, which was still there, and helped out. I did some paperwork, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Robert was going to school at Langton's by then, and off he went to school. The school, incidentally, that I went to and my father went to, so 3 generations have gone through Langton School in Hornchurch. From there, the business got bigger because obviously now you're going to have to get 3 wages out of the firm. My brother came back from where he was working, and he used to lecture at a college in Oxford, came back, decided he wanted to be in the family company, and from one shop he gradually bought into 6 shops. So all through the district line all the way up into East Ham, and we managed them between us for a number of years. My brother and father used to go to market and pick the flowers up. My mother and I used to run the staff and the flowers. I decided then I fed up with my husband, so I needed to get divorced. As one does. I was quite happy. Robert was still at school. He was 16, and he was going to. I'd moved by then, obviously, out of the flat above the shop. My parents had moved away into another house, and I moved to Brentwood, to Hutton, because Robert needed a better school, I felt, and he went to St Martin's in Hanging Hill Lane, so I moved my family there, so he had a good education, which he did. He divorced his dad and met somebody else, which was great. Then all of a sudden you get a phone call from his company, tomorrow you're in Istanbul. So I've had to decide whether I want to stay with the family business or I go to Turkey. So what do? You go to Turkey. So off I went to Turkey. You turn up in this can I say, this hellhole in Istanbul, which it was. You're on your own, nobody speaks English. You're a 30-year-old woman that had education, we don't think to speak Turkish. We know about Johnny Kebab, but that's about all we do know about Turkey. We don't know anything about the culture because we're not told about these things, or we don't read enough about these things. So I ended up in another apartment in Estonia, which is just on the Bosphorus in Turkey, in Istanbul. You can't get a work permit. If your husband has a work permit, you're not allowed another permit. So it's only one work permit, so you have to become a lady of leisure. It didn't cut it for me really, because now you're in a lovely apartment, you're on the Bosphorus, which is great. You're probably the only English person along the street. What do? You drive yourself mad. There's nothing to do. There isn't any English-speaking people. There isn't any television that you want to watch, and you decide, I'm going to go and find something to do. So I queued up at the British Consulate, got myself in to see the consulate, and I signed up, and I became a member of the WI and the Women's Corona Society, and got myself organising the parties for the British Consulate in Istanbul. We also owned gardens down at Tarabya, where the Arabs hang out, and every Sunday the English would hold a barbecue or a function in the gardens at Tarabya and the Bosphorus, which was absolutely fantastic. If you can imagine me and another lady digging a pit in the gardens, because we're going to do chili con carne, and we're going to do jacket potatoes, but we've got nowhere to put them, so we dig a pit, get the coals in, so everybody had their chili con carne, which we took in big bowls. We dug this pit, we got the jacket potatoes out, and we did a bowl of salad. Fantastic evening. We also did spit roast in the same place, but it was just something different to do and keep yourself occupied. We made Christmas crackers to sell for the WI, which raised money for the children poor in Turkey. Also for leprosy, there's a leprosy island which you can go and visit there. We went over to see the lepers, and they needed money, they really do. It's something it's something to see, something different, and I feel very sorry for those people. With the Christmas crackers, you turn up at somebody's house. We're going to make Christmas crackers for Christmas. We start in June. How many boxes we need? We need so many hundred. 20 of us turn up. Businesswoman as I am, I go in and say, well, how much money do we raise? Well, we raise about so. So I look around the room and say, let's all put 20 quid in each and have a cup of coffee. No, that is not the point, they say, because the point is that we all get together once a week or once a month, and we do this, and at the end of it we've got lots and lots of Christmas crackers. Well, it doesn't work, because week by week, as you know, you end up with 10% of the people doing the work. 2 of you at the end of the day are packing Christmas crackers forever and making them, because this is what happens. We also made Christmas puddings in the Sheraton and the Hilton hotels, because you can buy them there. You buy the fruit in the market, the soup. You go down and buy your fruit, and you make your Christmas pudding and Christmas crackers, which your Christmas pudding and Christmas cakes. And when you make them and you decorate them, and remember we're flying in now, icing and things from England, because you can buy it there. So anybody that was able to go home, like I was, every 6 weeks, not the company paid for me to go home, you're bringing all sorts of things. You're bringing in sausages, you're bringing in bacon, daddy's sauce, Marmite, whatever you can bring in. We need to bring the roll-out icing in, whatever we could bring in, we brought in the marzipan, did it. Made the cakes, fantastic. Anybody that didn't eat those cakes within the first few weeks, after 3 or 4 months, they were riddled with maggots, because in Turkey they don't wash the fruit like we wash it here. As much as you washed it, you never got rid of the insects and the bits and pieces that should never have lived in there. So God knows what happens to those people that eat our cakes, but they look nice all the day. Spent a lot of time there. I mean, especially spent a lot of time there. Obviously, I had time in my hands. Played a lot of bridge, drank a lot of wine. 3.5 years. We were asked to, it's our time to go home, and we were sent to Amsterdam, where we went for 3 months, and then went on to Poland from there, and went on to Poland to Wrocław, which was lovely, but lovely apartment there. But I decided, I actually got fed up with this life. I needed to go home and go back to the business. My parents wanted to retire. Daddy was about 78 at the time and wanted to retire. Mummy would have been 60, 69. They wanted to retire, so I came home to the family business. In that time, my husband still had to go on to his job, and he got sent off to Russia. He's still there, he's in Moscow. it doesn't work. Love does not make the heart, absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder. All it matters is somebody else is playing away when they shouldn't be. So I decided it's time for me to part from him, and I did. So that was another divorce. So, not nothing. And so I've got myself into the family business and really pushed myself into it. Learned everything I could. Obviously, I've been taught as I've grown up, but there was things business-wise I didn't know because, okay, I can do a little bit of bookwork, but now we're paying VAT, we're doing all sorts of things which I hadn't been used to doing. So I started doing bookwork again, started getting into the staff again, and all of a sudden something happened to Daddy. We needed to get rid of some shops because he wouldn't be able to go to market anymore. My brother was playing up, and he was an alcoholic actually, and I sacked him. So now we've got to condense the business down because I can't run all those shops on my own because it is an impossibility to do the markets and run back and forth with flowers all day on your own. You need an army of people to do it. So from 30 odd staff, I condensed all the shops down. First of all, to obviously started selling the properties off and started doing that till I've got this one. Condensed the staff down till I got the best 6 staff I wanted, and today I've still got 4 of them, and we're talking now 20 years. And I now run the shop in Wallis and Hornchurch, which is very successful due to my parents that have taught me well, and I still have their input today because I'm very lucky my parents are still alive. My dad is 89 and my mum is 80, so I'm very lucky with that. Can't just sit around and think on your laurels that everyone's going to come through the door because you've got good reputation. You've really got to put yourself out there and talk about your business to people. So I decided, well, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to enter a few competitions. You know, I'm going to push Molly forward and get our name in the paper, which I did. And in 1998, I think it's about there we are. I won Retailer of the Year for Molly's Forest. You enter a process and someone sponsors you and you go in and you enter, and I won Retailer of the Year. So from then, every year I decided I would go into these competitions and see what I can do. I've done business person, customer care, and winning awards, which actually puts my business ahead of other businesses because people recognise you. As much as they recognise us because we are there, they recognise us because we do good things in the community. With our customer service, we're very into, well, I'm very into charity work. I'm very into St Francis Hospice, Age Concern, Crossroads Care. Anybody that comes in and wants something for school, they get a raffle prize because it doesn't hurt, because these are local people, these are my customers. Most of them have accounts with in any case, so it doesn't hurt to give something back into the community, and that's another reason to join Rotary really. After that, I met another man.
Oh, no. Really?
How do you do it?
Anybody know?
Who you met, Michael? Some of you met Michael. And
Michael's number 1, isn't he? There's 2.
No, I have 2 men. Michael is number 1 man. Michael is not number 1 man. And he, some of you met him, and he has got a business. He's got insurance. He works for insurance, and he insures big ships. And the reason I'm holding these here today is because in 2010 I launched a ship in Japan.
Well,
And these are the actual implements I used to launch the ship.
are they 9 carat or 24?
Wasn't the
Probably
Concordia?
18. They're very, very prosperous in Japan. So I launched this ship. Now, everybody thinks you just get a bottle of champagne and you chuck it at the ship. But it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't break at all. What happens is, you have this section, and all I can say, it's like a spirit level with a rope in between. And the axe is placed here, and you say, I named this ship, and there's a dent in there where I named the ship, and you hit this, the hammer comes down, the rope breaks, goes up in the air, the champagne breaks, and all the balloons come down. So that's those who like to yes.
How did you get involved in the ship?
Because Michael insures, the gentleman that you've met, he insures most of the big liners. My ship is worth $100 billion. It's the HMS Samos, And that is my ship. And it's now just off China, in the China Seas, delivering oil. Tanker. And we launched the ship, they took us over the ship. I mean, I've seen cruise ships. These are big. These are huge ships. You know, never ever imagined that I'd ever go on one and look down inside where the oil goes. It just goes into, it's just nothing, you just can't see as far as it goes down. We christened the ship on that day, and then I waved it away from the port as it went off.
What was the name?
Samos. It's a Greek shipping company. They have their ships built in Japan. Another Greek shipping company which I may do a ship with. They get theirs made in South Korea, and then we go out to the ceremonies or we launch the ships. We've been on we've been on quite a few inaugural cruises. You hear all these great big ships that go out now, the Oasis and all these ships that go out. Well, my partner insures all those ships, so we get invited to the crew launch, so which is the ones where we go and make sure the folks in the right place and the food and the conference all that right. But it's always a 4-day cruise, which is very, very nice, and it's a freebie, so why not? It's like a holiday. Last year, then go on from that, because last year also I had the pleasure, or actually very proud to say that I was the Mayor's Civic Award last year for my work in charity. So Pam and I awarded me with an award because of my charitable work, which is lovely. So that's something else. Because I'm doing it with everybody, I think I could do it with a group rather than on my own. So then from there, really, that is my life. I run Molly's Florist. I get up at, like I did this morning, at 3:30 in the morning. I go off to get the flowers. Then this morning I do a networking meeting at 6:30, which I got back for. Did a networking meeting until 8:30. Went on to the shop and I come to Rotary lunch. And this, most days I'm doing that sort of thing, or belonging to some committee or something. I'm on the executive of the Chamber of Commerce. I've been on the board of trustees of the Presidential. I've just resigned from there because the thing I was doing I think I should do without being on the board of trustees. So I think it's a waste of 4 meetings a year. I have to spend my time somewhere else.
That's a very big shot in Jubilee.
And I'm actually going on another cruise next week. Not the week after next, after Mother's Day. I'm going on the launch of the new Disney ship, the Fantasia, and I'm going to take my granddaughter. So Michael's company has taken us on a Disney trip. So we're flying out to Orlando for 4 days and going on the Disney ship. So that is my life.
Right, first of all, questions of Christine. Nick.
Yes, Christine, where is Flower Market these days?
Today I go to Cruise Hill, so M25, A10 Cruise Hill. I live just on the main road, Bedford, and I'm there in 20 minutes. Covent Garden now has become too far, and if you're stuck and you can't get back, because it's a little bit different than going 20 minutes there, spending your money in 2 hours and coming back in 20 minutes. When you go to Covent Garden, it's a good hour there. Then you do your buying and a good hour back. And you get stuck at Vauxhall, and then you've got congestion charge, which it just puts everything up much more. And the big wholesalers now that used to be there are all gone. It's run by the Dutch. It's all Dutch wholesalers, which I can go to Cruise Hill and meet the same people. So I don't have to go anywhere else.
Questions?
Yes, I was going to ask. You go and buy the flowers, etc., more or less every day. But I noticed with flower shops here, just behind us, even in Upminster, these huge pantechnicons come, presumably from Holland with flowers.
That's right.
So what's the benefit of you going to wherever it is every day, and the Holland pantechnicons coming here and delivering every day?
Because without being big-headed about it,
Sorry?
without being big-headed about it, they are small buyers. You can only buy so much off a Dutch lorry. Obviously, they're not going to buy the whole lot off that Dutch lorry when it turns up. They can only stock so much on there, which is beautiful. When you turn up, they're beautiful flowers on there. But if they've got something that you want something they haven't got, you've still got to go to market. And the only way you can buy yourself is with your eyes to get the quality and the quantity you want. So I go to market. I mean, I've had them. They're unreliable. They're if they're going to come to me, I want them at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to turn up 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 10, and it's too late, because if you've got orders to fulfil, we're a very busy shop, then you've got to have your flowers first thing.
How many times a week do you go?
3 to 4 times a week. I mean, next week it'll be every day because it's Mother's Weekend. Yeah, so.
You get up at that time every morning? When you go to market?
Every time, 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. Sometimes I have to dress for the day. You don't look as good as this with the gin and I'm sure.
When do you sleep?
Sorry?
When do you sleep?
When I get home. Or when
I didn't say where.
It's like we went out Saturday, didn't we? It was a lovely time. I've been up since 3:30 in the morning. I mean, I know my time. By about 10:30, I had to leave because I just get tired. I think people think I'm pissed actually because I get a bit, I'm tired. I need to go home. But if I have to be up all night, I'll be up all night. It's not a problem. You can't store your sleep, unfortunately.
Well, I had a lot of patients who used to come to me, ain't got no energy, doc, doesn't apply to you.
So they're not drinking enough gin, are they?
Any other questions? No more questions. For those that it falls upon me to give the pleasurable task, which I'll no doubt get you more used to next year, once again, of thanking fellow Rotarian for a beautiful speech, very fulfilling life, and I've heard 2 words, pantechnicon and perambulator, in the same speech, and that's they're words from my childhood, I would say.
And you got the right teeth.
Thanks very much. Here you go. Right, fellows, any other business?